We're now ready to finish our automata assembly. So this is where we left off in our automata assembly, and this is where we want to be with the figures on top. Alright, so I'm going to put this airplane image on top, this airplane figure on top of the follower, on this one here. Alright, so how do we get that on there? Well, one thing you were supposed to have done earlier is found in Thingiverse an object. So for instance, here's an airplane. If I click on the simple airplane, then I have the ability, let me try that again. If I click on the airplane, so by the way I found airplane is by typing in here in the search bar. And then I get this image of an airplane that I like, looked like it would work for me, so I click on it. And then I have this ability to download all files. So I click on it, and then I get in my downloads, excuse me, in my downloads directory, I get the simple airplane.zip. So I double clicked on it, unzipped it, and then I get a folder with this avionfix.stl file. An STL file can be used for 3D printing. All right, so here's the issue. You now need to get that into Fusion 360. So with the data panel open, you click on upload, then it asks you to drag in the file you want. So you drag, in my case, the Avion Fixed into this window. It tells you what folder it's going to go in. You say upload. All right, it's complete. Close that window. And now I find my airplane. Whoops, must have gone right past it. Right here. All right, so here's the problem with this one. If I was to double click on this to open it, I would get this, which looks fine, but when you go to joint it with the other, with the top of the follower, for instance, it won't work because it's a .stl file. So what you need to do is come to the modify section of the toolbar, click on it, come all the way down to the bottom, and this .svl files are called meshes. So it can't work as a mesh, so you have to convert the mesh to a brep file. All right, so what this window now asks you to do is to select the object that you want to convert. You need to tell it that you want it to be a new component, not a new body. A component are these parts, for instance, a piece of wood, an axle, a handle. Then I click OK. And the last thing you need to do now is save it. So you do need to save it as that file. And then you will get a Fusion 360 version of that file. And now you can insert it into your automata assembly. So let's go back to our automata assembly. Let's click on this view here. I think that will be our best one. Now I come over here, I click on the Fusion 360 version of it. I right click on it, insert it into the current design. So you can see it's oriented slightly off, so I'm going to turn it by clicking on it. Let's see what angle I want. It looks like I want to rotate it around the X axis. Oops, I should have done 90 degrees. So again, now I want to come right click. Whoops, sorry. Let's find the plane. Right click on it. Let's click on get the move copy command back. And it looks like it's a negative 90 degrees. And negative 90 degrees again, it looks like. All right, let's close the data panel. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to mate the top of this follower to the bottom of the airplane. So again, we want to go over the assemble section, click on joint, capture position, keep everything where it is. In terms of what kind of joint we want the rigid joint. So I click on the motion tab to get there. Now I click back on the position tab. And you need to click select to choose what I am mating to. I'm mating to the top of the follower. Once I get that circle in the right place, I hold the control key or the command key, click. Now let's move over. All right, now let's reorient this. So we get the bottom of the airplane. Now we need to find a place in here. That looks good. Now it's shaking to show that it's a rigid joint. It looks like that's the right orientation, so I'm going to click OK. Click on the little house to get our orientation back. And there we have it. And now, if I was to have something on the other side, my plane will go up and down with the object on the other side. And now you are done. Thank you for listening.